Today we are going to be looking at doing a soup, and this time we're using our Thai red curry paste again, just to show you how versatile this curry paste can actually be. So it's not just for making, you know, the curry with the coconut milk. You can do a variety of things. One of our other videos shows you how to do a Thai falafel with the same curry paste, and today we're just using a little bit to make a soup base. Now, just to run through some of the ingredients in our noodle soup today, we'll have sliced onion, just a small sliced red onion. We've got some vegan protein. Now, I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but in there we've got about 175 grams. We've got about 60 grams of Chinese greens. So again, I'll explain those in a bit more depth later on. Got a tablespoon of the Thai curry paste. We've got a bit of sort of coriander and spring onion there, all nicely chopped as a garnish. And for those who like a little bit of heat, we've got some chopped chilli as well. Now on the noodles, there's a equivalent of one nest of noodles. Now when I say nest, I mean, I don't know if you can see, in this our standard pack of thin noodles, it comes in sort of 3 or 4 nests inside. And I've just used one of those. Bonnie prepped this yesterday evening, soaked in boiling water, drained off, left to drain. Now there's a video on the website explaining exactly how to do that and go through that whole process, so do refer back to that. But once they're drained, you've got a nice sort of moist texture there without being runny, and you can see they are soft. So let's get cooking. Power up. Bit of oil to start with, and what I'm going to do is put the onions in first. Now I need to get all the aromas from the onion, so they'll go in first and let them cook off on their own for about a minute or so, once this gets up to heat. So I'll just let that warm up. Okay, I can start to smell that now, so now I think it's time for the soy protein. Now I'm going to pop this in first. The idea is to just get that in the pan and let it start browning. And this is the first time actually we've used this particular one, but this is a brand that we found in Tesco's, and it's essentially a soy protein with some added onion and some peas there and a bit of seasoning. So on here, this is a medium to high heat, so I haven't gone too high with it. I've just gone sort of medium high. Okay, just waiting for a bit of colour to appear on the protein chunks. Okay, that looks like we're nearly there. Next to go in, choy sum. So we call this a choy sum. It's one of a variety of the Chinese greens. Now Chinese greens tend to be fairly fibrous, so it's very good for the diet, very good for digestion. But if you can't find the choy sum, so the choy sum tends to be available mainly in the Oriental supermarkets. But in fact, you know, in Tesco's and the big supermarkets, you can get hold of the green variety of the pak choy as well, which works really well. Oops. So you don't want them to be in there for too long, just enough to allow the heat to start wilting the leaves and just giving that soft edge to the stems. Now the stems on this particular vegetable, the choy sum, tends to be quite firm, quite crunchy. That's the normal consistency when you come to eat it. Now also bear in mind as well, because this is going to be a soup, that when you put the soup in, the water in, it is also going to partially cook it as well. So what I'm going to do now is put in the water. Now the water, there's 450 mils of water. Just going to tip this in gently. Do we need any salt before we... Water in first, yeah. Okay. Okay, water's gone in there, and I'm just going to take the heat down a little bit. I don't want it to just boil off, I just need it to simmer. 1 tablespoon of paste. If you like it spicier, by all means, put a bit more in. But we're going to start with 1 tablespoon, so you don't need a lot. And I'm just going to stir that in. Now, as you can see, our jars are quite substantial, so you know, a few people worry about using up the whole jar, but in fact you can freeze it. But just by showing you how many different ways we can cook the paste, hopefully it won't take you too long to get through a whole jar. So now, if you do salt, then now's the chance to do it. About maybe a quarter of a teaspoon. Just a few cracks in there. Now, a lot of ready bought Thai pastes do tend to be quite salty in the first instance, but what we've tried to achieve with our paste is actually for you to be able to use it as a meat paste as well, which you wouldn't be able to do with a lot of the other pastes out there. You'd have to dilute it down, but with this one, you don't need to. We reduce the salt content of it, because you can always add salt in when you cook. Okay, I think that's come back up to the boil, so that's pretty much ready to serve, would you say, yeah? So as you see, we've got the noodles there, all nicely prepped. Now I'm going to just for presentation purposes, just to put the veg over to one side there. With some chili, some nice colour there as well. You don't have to put too many in, just enough to give that colour. Now, it's going to be quite hard to get close to the camera, so we'll have to bring the camera to the bowl.
Slowly.
Okay, so just tilt it down. Needs to be a bit further away. That's it. So, hopefully you can see there the amazing colours that blend together. The vegetables still got a slight crunch left to them. Of course, you can substitute whatever protein you want in there. Put your favourites in, you know, if you prefer corn, or maybe use a burger and cut it up and lay on top a veggie burger. So there we go.